let's talk about something that doesn't get said enough. Or maybe it's said but not fully felt. The twin flame journey isn't just about two souls coming together. It's about something awakening, deep inside. It's about remembering who you really are. And in that remembering, the roles between the two souls begin to take shape. One leads, the other follows. Not in the way ego imagines, with control or force, but in energy, in vibration consciousness. So, is the divine feminine the true leader of the twin flame union? In short, yes, but not because she's better, not because she's more evolved, and definitely not because she's the one chasing. She leads because she feels first, she awakens first, she remembers first. But to really understand why she leads, we need to look deeper into what leadership even means on a spiritual level. Because this isn't about dominance, it's about alignment and trust and a kind of spiritual maturity that blooms only through inner work. So let's dive in. Number 1, she feels the connection first, and that awakens her soul. In most twin flame journeys, the divine feminine is the one who senses the connection before anything even begins. She feels the pull, the magnetic energy, the deep familiarity. It's not logical, it doesn't come with proof. It's just known. That knowing stirs something in her. It shakes her, breaks her open. Often it comes at a time when she least expects it, when her life is stable or maybe even mundane. Then suddenly, boom, she meets this person who makes her soul ache. Not in a painful way, but in a longing way, like something ancient is being remembered. This initial awakening isn't a small thing. It's a soul alarm clock. And once it rings, you can't go back to sleep. But here's what's powerful. Even though this awakening is emotional, confusing, and sometimes overwhelming, the divine feminine doesn't run. She leans in. She starts questioning everything she thought she knew about love, life, and herself. She goes searching. She reflects. She peels back layers. And that's where leadership begins. Because true spiritual leadership doesn't start on a stage. It starts in the dark, when no one's watching. When you're crying on the bathroom floor, wondering why it hurts so much, and still choosing to stay awake. The divine feminine becomes the leader because she doesn't numb it out. She feels everything, and through that feeling, she begins to rise. Number 2, she goes through the inner transformation first. Once the divine feminine wakes up to the truth of the connection, everything in her life begins to shift. Not just emotionally, but spiritually, mentally, and even physically. It's like her soul puts her into a spiritual boot camp. Her triggers get louder. Her wounds come to the surface. Patterns she thought she healed show up again. And through it all, she's asked to let go of control, of expectations, of the version of herself that once felt safe. This is the part of the journey where many fall apart. But falling apart isn't failure, it's initiation. The divine feminine goes through a complete identity death, and slowly, painfully, beautifully, a new version of her is born. She becomes softer, yet stronger, more intuitive, but also more grounded. She doesn't just talk about healing, she lives it. This transformation isn't about making her worthy of union, it's about making her ready. Because union isn't a prize you earn, it's a frequency you embody. And she gets there first. Not because she's chosen, but because she chooses herself. Over and over again. That's leadership. Not forcing someone to meet you where you are, but choosing to meet yourself where you are, no matter how messy it feels. And in doing that, she paves the path forward. Energetically, spiritually, soulfully. Number 3, her healing triggers his awakening. Here's the beautiful irony of the twin flame dynamic. Even though the divine feminine is often the one who feels left behind, she's actually the one pulling the connection forward. But not by chasing, not by begging, not even by waiting, by healing. Her healing sends a ripple through the energetic cord that connects them. It hits him in ways he can't explain. It shows up in his dreams, in his emotions, in his sense of self. Because twin flames are mirrors, and when one mirror becomes clearer, the other is forced to look. This is why you'll often hear people say, when I started focusing on myself, he came back. It's not a trick. It's energetic law. The divine feminine's inner work activates the divine masculine's growth. But this doesn't always look the way we want it to. Sometimes it looks like him running. Sometimes it looks like him choosing someone else. Sometimes it looks like silence. But make no mistake, every ounce of healing she does is felt, because their souls are not separate. Her shift becomes his awakening. Her peace becomes his confusion. Her clarity becomes his questions. This is why her role is so powerful, because she doesn't need to tell him what to do. She just needs to become what she already is, whole. Number 4, she learns to lead without controlling. Let's be honest, this part is tough, because when you love someone so deeply and you know the connection is real, it's hard not to want to guide them, to show them, to help them see. But true divine feminine leadership isn't about control. It's about surrender. She doesn't lead by pulling. She leads by standing, standing in her light, standing in her truth, standing in her self-worth, even when it hurts. This means letting go of the urge to fix him, or fix the connection, or fix the timing. It means trusting that the energy she holds is enough. This is where the divine feminine becomes magnetic, because she stops seeking and starts embodying. She doesn't need to convince anyone of the connection. She doesn't even need to explain it. She just lives it through her presence, her peace, her purpose. And that's what draws him closer. Not through desperation, but through resonance. Not through effort, but through essence. She becomes a beacon, and that light, steady, soft, unwavering, is what begins to guide him home. Number 5, she steps into her mission, and that changes everything. Here's something sacred that not enough people talk about. The divine feminine's mission isn't just about union. It's about what she came here to do. Because the twin flame journey doesn't stop at love. It's a gateway to purpose, to expression, to divine service. Once she begins to remember who she is beyond the relationship, her entire frequency rises. She starts creating, she starts teaching, she starts showing up for herself, for others, for the world. This is the phase where she realizes the connection was never just about him. It was about her, about waking up, about rising, about leading. And when she does that, not from ego but from truth, everything begins to shift. The divine masculine feels it. The universe feels it. The whole energy of the bond changes. Because when she steps into her mission, she sends a signal into the spiritual field that says, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm walking. And that walk, that movement, that flow of creation becomes the true leadership the journey needed all along. Number 6, she remembers that love is not about possession. This is the moment everything changes. The moment she finally understands that the love, real love, has nothing to do with control. It's not about holding on so tightly that the other person can't breathe. It's not about checking where he is, what he's doing, or who he's with. It's not even about being his number one priority every day. Love isn't a transaction. It's not a reward for being patient or good or spiritual enough. It's about letting someone be free and still choosing to love them anyway, without needing them to fit into your idea of what love should look like. In the beginning, she may have tried to hold on. She may have begged the universe for signs, asked for reassurance, replayed old conversations in her head, wondering if she did something wrong. That's normal. It's part of the awakening. But somewhere along the way, after all the tears, silence, surrender, and searching, something in her shifts. She realizes that love doesn't mean ownership. It doesn't mean having someone. It means seeing someone fully, clearly, and still allowing them the space to grow, even if that growth means growing apart for a while. She learns to let go, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too deeply to suffocate something sacred. When she truly embodies this, something beautiful starts to happen inside her. The desperation fades, the anxiety calms, the longing softens. She begins to live her life again, not as a distraction, but as a devotion to herself. She builds, she creates. She reconnects with who she is outside of the connection. And most importantly, she loves him from a distance, without trying to bend the journey to her timeline. That doesn't mean she doesn't feel the bond, or that she stops caring. But the clinging ends, the grasping stops, the urge to get him back dissolves, because she's not here to possess him, she's here to witness him, to support him in spirit, to believe in his evolution while focusing on her own. And through that freedom, through that wide open, unconditional space, she becomes magnetic. Her love isn't loud anymore. It's quiet, stable, solid. It's not demanding, it's present. And that presence, that steady, anchored energy, is what begins to call him home in a way words never could. When she no longer needs him to fill a gap in her, the connection shifts. It becomes clearer, it breathes. Because he no longer feels pressure coming from her field. He feels peace. And in that peace, he's finally able to face himself, his fears, his wounds, his truth. She's no longer chasing union. She's embodying it within herself. She doesn't want someone to complete her. She wants someone to meet her. And as she continues to deepen that love within her own being, the universe responds. The masculine feels it. Whether he's conscious of it or not, something in him stirs. Not because she's trying to make anything happen, but because she is love now. Real, whole, expansive love. And that's what makes her leadership not only powerful, but sacred. Let's come back to the big question. Is the divine feminine the true leader of the twin flame union? Yes, but not in the way most people imagine. She's not leading from ego. She's not bossing anyone around. She's not demanding titles or timelines. She's not standing on a pedestal telling the masculine what to do. She leads from energy, from inner truth, from presence. She's not louder. She's clearer. She's vaster. She's deeper. She's not chasing. She's becoming. Becoming the kind of woman who walks in love even when it hurts, who honors her heart, even when it's tired, who keeps rising even when the path is full of uncertainty. She leads because she goes first. She breaks open first. She heals first. She remembers first. And she chooses to grow even when no one's watching. That's not weakness. That's not foolishness. That's the highest form of courage. And that courage is what shapes the path ahead, not just for her, but for the masculine too. He may not say it. He may not fully understand it, but he feels her. Every energetic shift, every layer she sheds, every truth she claims. Her healing echoes through the cord that ties their souls. Her evolution stirs something in him, even if it shows up as distance at first. Even if he pulls away, spirals, or delays his own growth. It doesn't mean she's failed. It means her light is doing exactly what it's meant to do, illuminating everything that isn't real. And that can be uncomfortable, for both of them. But that's what real spiritual leadership is. Not making things easy, but making them honest. Not forcing change, but allowing it to unfold. So if you're on this journey and you feel like you're carrying the weight of it, you probably are. But that doesn't mean it's unfair. It means you're strong enough to go first. It means your soul chose this role, not because it's easy, but because it's sacred. So when the road gets heavy, remember, you're not alone. Every divine feminine walking this path is weaving the same thread of courage, clarity, and compassion. You're not just waiting, you're leading. You're not just healing, you're activating. You're not just rising, you're becoming the anchor the whole connection needs. And that matters more than you know. So keep holding your vision, not the fantasy, but the truth. Keep loving without losing yourself. Keep leading without needing applause. Because the masculine will feel it. The energy will shift, and when he's ready, truly ready, he'll meet you in a way that honors every step you took to get there. Until then, walk in peace. Walk in power. Walk in love. You were never behind, you were always leading, and nothing will ever be the same again.